All right. Hello, everybody. How's it going? My name is Adriel Carmona, and I am happy to once again be joining you all for another edition of the Varsity Live Postgame show. Um, got a lot of stuff for you guys today. We're going to be recapping all of the games that we were highlighting in that pregame show if you joined us for that. So, without further ado, let's just get right into it. We're going to start off with Bella, who's going to be giving us the postgame report on the Saguaro game. Bella, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good.
Yeah, as you said, I was just at the Saguaro Pinnacle game. Saguaro did unfortunately lose again tonight. It was 14-48, but we did have our player of the game, Martin Rennie. He did amazing tonight. He had multiple sacks. Their whole team. It really is a sad end to the season, but I think they are going to grow and become a better team next season.
Yeah, absolutely. Saguaro's been one of those teams I've been keeping up with, and it really just did seem that even though the record shows, 1-8 now, I think they're a team that did get better every week, and they should be a different team next year.
Yeah. And it
All
was their
right.
coach's first season too.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you just, yeah.
hmm
So thank you.
Yep. Well, yep. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us once again tonight. All right. Thank you, Bella, for that post-game report on the Saguaro game. It really is crazy knowing that we are now in the last week of regular season football. And with playoffs right around the corner, this is just kind of crazy now. But we're going to take it over to, let's see here. We're going to take it over to Nick, who's going to be actually filling in for Jordan for the Vegas post-game report. Nick, how's it going?
How's it going, Adrian?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. So to give you a little update on what happened, the game I covered, I was covering the Foothill Falcons versus the Liberty Patriots game, and this was the quarterfinal game between the 4 seed and the 5 seed to face the number 1 team, Bishop Gorman, next week. And I had predicted it would be a blowout in the favor of the Liberty Patriots, despite them having the worst record. They ended up winning 42-0 against Foothill. And if you did your homework on Foothill, you kind of saw that the wins that they had at the beginning of the season weren't the quality wins that you expected from a powerhouse 5A team compared to what Liberty had to face. This is a Liberty team that had to face 4 top 100 teams in the country nationally. And so their 4-6 record didn't really reflect their actual overall skill as a football team. And they showed that tonight against Foothill.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, awesome. Thank you so much, Nick, for filling in and for giving us that post-game report. Hope you have a good night.
Absolutely, Adrian. You too.
All right. Thank you, Nick, for filling in there and giving us that Vegas post-game report. We are now going to take it over. We're going to take it over to Olivia now, who's going to be giving us the Buckeye post-game report. Olivia, how's it going?
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. It was a late night tonight. At least for me, I know I got quite the long drive from Buckeye to Phoenix, but it was a pretty exciting game, really for the Lake Havasu Knights, who kind of blew out the Buckeye Hawks with a final score of 48-16. You know, that first quarter, the Knights were able to get on the board first, and they were the only team to score in that first quarter. And then in the second quarter, the Hawks were able to finally get on the board with the player of the game, Davon Standard. He was really their go-to guy, and the Hawks were actually running an offense with a freshman quarterback, and it was their senior night. So it was interesting to see kind of the younger squad out there rather than, you know, the seniors. We didn't really see a lot of seniors hit the field. But yeah, it was a really strong defensive game for the Hawks, but a really slow offensive game for them. So, you know, it was an interesting game out there. It was really cold. So them being able to, fight through that cold too was, it was a good game regardless.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy that you say that it was senior night and not a lot of seniors play. That's kind of interesting to say the least.
Right, I know. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, all right. Well, thank you so much, Olivia, for joining us once again tonight. Hope you have a good night.
Thanks. Have a good one.
All right. So big thanks to Olivia for giving us that post-game report on Buckeye Hawks. We have two more post-game reports for you guys later, Mountain View and Horizon. We'll be getting those guests in as soon as we get those reports in. But hope you guys, if you guys are just joining us now, we have just gone through the Saguaro and Buckeye and Vegas post-game reports. We still have a few more left for the rest of the night. Something I really want to talk about really quickly before we get the rest of our guests. So I'm from Florida, and Florida is about to start playoff football, but very interesting stories coming out this week. Sorry, I almost sneezed. Oh, very interesting stories actually coming out from Florida this week. So Miami Central, one of the top teams right now in the state, was just forced by the Florida High School Athletic Association to forfeit all 9 of their regular season games tonight. And you're probably thinking, oh, why would that happen? What could you have possibly done to get all 9 of your games forfeited? They had an ineligible player playing for them this entire regular season. And by ineligible, I mean they had a 5th-year high school player playing for them for the entire regular season. You're hearing that correctly. They had a 5th-year guy playing for them in high school. So yeah, basically they had all their games forfeited, and now they're 0-9, so they can't exactly play in the playoffs anymore. They just dropped out. The rankings and the seeding and the matchups just dropped today for Florida, and now Miami Central cannot play in the postseason because they decided to play an ineligible player, a 5th-year player, this entire regular season. But yeah, pretty crazy stuff going on there. Yeah, just super weird. And actually, another school in Florida, Orlando, another crazy event happening there. The First Academy, they violated rules that included, I'll just list off what they did. They reached out to players that were unenrolled in their school. They allowed players to compete for them during summer tournaments that were unenrolled. And they offered ride-hailing services to players not yet enrolled. So they're basically giving a bunch of benefits for people that didn't even go to their school. So obviously, very bad look there. The FHSAA actually voted unanimously 11-0 to uphold the punishments for them. And the punishments include a 2-year postseason ban. So then it's not even that they were only banned from the postseason this year. They are banned from the postseason next year as well. Also, with that punishment, they had to pay $36,000 in fines, and their assistant coach is banned from coaching until October of next year. Whether those punishments are upheld is yet to be seen, but so far those are the punishments for that. If you were just joining us now, my name is Agent Carmona with another edition of the Varsity Live Postgame Show. We have just gone over the postgame reports from Saguaro, Buckeye, and Vegas. We are now actually going to take it over to Alex, who's going to be giving us the postgame report on the Horizon game. Alex, how is it going?
Yeah, it's going good. I just covered the Horizon ALA Gilbert game, and Horizon going into the game, they were on a 5-game win streak, which was, phenomenal for a high school team. And then when you look at ALA Gilbert, they lost their last 2 games, and the games before that, the two that were before the games that they lost, they won those, but it wasn't by a lot of points. It was very close. And, tonight, Horizon fell short of ALA Gilbert. It was 17-7. That was the final score. The game was a defensive game. You know, there was a lot of turnovers and fumble recoveries and interceptions. So it was a great game, but like I said, Horizon just was not able to get it done tonight. ALA Gilbert will now be, you know, they're going to be playing McClintock High School, and Horizon, that was their last game of the regular season.
Wow, crazy game for Horizon to go down like that. Very big for postseason seeding as well. Well, thank you so much, Alex, for another great post-game report. I hope you have an awesome rest of your night.
Okay, you too. Thank you.
Yep. So big thanks to Alex for her post-game report on the Horizon game. Horizon gets shocked by ALA Gilbert. Big win for them as they took down what I mean, honestly, I think we can all agree that Horizon is one of the best teams over there in the state. They were 8-1. They now drop 8-2 now on the regular season. That was their last regular season game. It is still kind of crazy that we are now in the last week of regular season football. It feels like I just started, with these shows when teams had just played like 5 games. But yeah, pretty crazy stuff going on. I believe we still have one more post-game report to go through, the Mountain View game, so we'll see that later. Sorry, but yeah, a lot of crazy stuff going on. Horizon getting upset by ALA Gilbert. Gilbert actually then improved now to 7-3 on the season. They were coming off a 51-48 loss against Notre Dame Prep, so big ups to them for getting back on the win column. Big win for them as they head into the playoffs. A lot of momentum there riding for them after they just be one of the best teams in Arizona. So, I mean, what I was talking earlier about Florida and that stuff, pretty crazy, pretty mind-boggling, actually. I don't know how that happens where you just, allow someone to play when you know they're in their 5th year. I don't know what the backstory is with that. Really, there just haven't been any updates into what the context in that situation was. Because, I mean, the Florida High School Athletic Association bylaw 951 says that, I mean, obviously that a student is limited to 8 consecutive semesters of eligibility, which starts their first semester of 9th grade. I mean, makes sense. You're starting high school. And then after 8 semesters, the student is ineligible. So I don't know what happened there. They began the season at number 15, Miami Central. They climbed back in. They were number 15, lost their opener, became unranked, then sat at number 27 towards the end of the year. But then now they're going to drop because, they just dropped to 0-9. They had to forfeit all their season. And it's pretty crazy too. Norland, another high school in Miami, had to forfeit a 33-27 win against American Heritage on October 27th for playing an eligible player. So this isn't new in Florida football. But enough of that. Enough of my talking. We're going to take it over to sorry. We're going to take it over to our last guest of the night, saving the best for last. We're going to kick it off to Greg for the Mountain View post-game report. Greg, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing? Can you hear me all right?
Good. Yep.
All right. Yeah, just a brief recap of the game. It was an absolute fantastic game to watch. Mountain View came away with the victory, 43-38 against their rivals, Red Mountain. Really high-scoring game. Early on, it was just incredibly back and forth. Red Mountain got a big score with about 30 seconds left. Had a nice pass to tight end for about a 4-yard touchdown. And then me and my broadcast mate were both like, okay, this is kind of the momentum that Red Mountain, who came in ranked number 4th, Mountain View came in ranked number 12th. We both thought, all right, this is the moment where they got a touchdown lead now. They're going into halftime. This is where they kind of take this one out. And 27 seconds left, Mountain View gets the ball. and they move it about to midfield, got about 9 seconds left, and a play kind of breaks down, and they realize this is going to be the last play of the half, and they throw it up for Hail Mary. The ball gets tipped, and it's a Hail Mary touchdown to Talon Arnett. Ended up being his 19th receiving touchdown. He's absolutely fantastic, one of their best players. And with that momentum in a tie game, they were able to come out in the second half, and they were able to rack up 3 touchdowns, taking a 19-point lead. Red Mountain made the game interesting, but they were able to Mountain View was able to hang on. Talon Arnett scored another touchdown. So he now has 20, finished the regular season with 20. And that's going to make a big discussion tonight because results come out tomorrow for the bracket.
Yep, that's going to be huge, definitely for them. Kind of crazy that Mountain View's streak of scoring at least 50 points was ended, even though they still scored 43 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty crazy to see. It's going to be very interesting to see what they do come playoff time for sure.
Absolutely. There's, especially with a couple losses, I know that ALA Queen Creek lost tonight, or Queen Creek, I'm forgetting which one. And then Brophy, unfortunately, I go to Brophy, so they lost tonight. And obviously Red Mountain lost, so there's at least 3 playoff positions that just got opened. We'll see if there's a 4th available, and that should be very interesting. Yeah.
Yep, we'll see. Well, thank you so much, Greg, for your awesome post-game report. Hope you have a great rest of your night.
Thanks for having me. Have a good night.
All right, big thanks to Greg for that Mountain View post-game report. Mountain View moving up to 9-1 on the season. We will definitely love to see how that postseason bracket shakes up. As he said, a few teams lost, so we'll see how those spots open up. But with that, that's going to end this edition of the Varsity Live postgame show. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Make sure to follow us on all of our social media. My name is Adrian Carmona, signing